fans of Rush believed nobody could ever sit behind the drum kit and carry the spirit of the legendary Neil Peart. So when the band officially announced that German drummer Anika Nilles would join them for their massive 50-something reunion tour, the internet exploded almost instantly. Some fans were emotional, some were skeptical, and many were simply shocked that Rush was returning at all after Neil Peart's death. But as reactions poured across Reddit, Facebook, YouTube, and rock forums, one thing became very clear. Anika Nilles was winning people over fast. Many longtime Rush fans admitted they were nervous at first. Neil Peart wasn't just a drummer. To many people, he was Rush. His technical skill, songwriting, and stage presence helped define the band for more than 4 decades. That's why some fans initially questioned whether anyone could possibly step into such an impossible role. Still, others immediately defended the decision. One fan wrote online that if Geddy Lee and Alex Lifeson trusted Anika, then that was enough proof for them. Another fan said they were bouncing around the room after hearing the news because they believed Rush chose someone who truly respected Neil's legacy instead of trying to copy him. As clips of Anika Nilles performing began spreading online again, many fans who were unfamiliar with her quickly started changing their minds. Known for her jaw-dropping independence, smooth groove style, and technical precision, Anika had already built a strong reputation in the drumming world long before Rush came calling. Her YouTube videos earned millions of views, and respected musicians around the globe praised her creativity behind the kit. What impressed Rush fans the most was that she didn't try to imitate Neil Peart note for note. Instead, she brought her own personality while still honoring the complexity Rush music demands. One Reddit user commented that Anika plays with emotion instead of just mechanics, while another described her as the perfect bridge between modern drumming and classic Rush energy. Others pointed out that Rush never wanted a copy of Neil. Fans recalled how Geddy Lee once said nobody could ever replace him. That's why many supporters felt the band made the smartest choice possible by selecting someone unique rather than forcing a clone situation. Of course, not everyone agreed. Some hardcore fans argued that Rush should have remained retired permanently after Neil's passing. For them, the idea of touring again felt emotional and even controversial. But even among critics, many admitted Anika was probably one of the few drummers talented enough to even attempt the challenge. The emotional side of the announcement became impossible to ignore once older Rush fans started sharing memories online. Across social media, people talked about discovering Rush during high school, learning Neil Peart drum fills in their garages, or attending concerts with parents who are no longer alive today. For many fans, Rush represents an entire chapter of their lives. That's why Anika Nilles stepping into this role feels bigger than just another tour announcement. To some people, it feels like the continuation of a legacy they thought ended forever. One fan wrote that hearing Rush music live again would probably make them cry, regardless of who sat behind the drums. Another admitted they originally hated the idea, but changed their mind after watching Anika's live performances. She understands dynamics, the fan explained. That matters more than imitation. Music critics also began weighing in. Several rock journalists praised Rush for choosing someone respected within the drumming community instead of selecting a celebrity replacement purely for publicity. Some even compared the moment to other iconic rock transitions, where bands faced impossible decisions after losing legendary members. Meanwhile, drum forums exploded with debates over which Rush songs Anika would perform best. Fans specifically mentioned tracks like Tom Sawyer, YYZ, and La Villa Strangiato as major tests of her skill and endurance. Interestingly, many younger fans seemed far more open to the announcement than older generations. On TikTok and Instagram, countless users praised Anika Nilles almost immediately, calling her one of the most innovative drummers of the modern era. Some even said this new version of Rush could introduce the band to an entirely new audience. That idea alone created another huge debate online. Certain longtime fans worried younger listeners might not fully appreciate Neil Peart's influence on progressive rock history, but others argued that keeping Rush alive through fresh energy is exactly what Neil himself might have wanted. After all, Rush was never a band afraid of evolution. Throughout their career, they constantly experimented with new sounds, technology, and musical styles. Anika supporters also highlighted her professionalism and humility. In interviews over the years, she repeatedly expressed deep admiration for legendary drummers while avoiding arrogance. Fans noticed that she never acted like she was replacing Neil Peart. Instead, many felt she approached the opportunity with genuine respect. Some viral reaction videos even showed drummers becoming emotional while discussing the announcement. One creator said, "Nobody replaces Neil, but Anika can honor him while still being herself. That's the only way this works." As excitement continued building, ticket demand reportedly surged across several cities, proving that whether people agreed or disagreed, Rush still had the power to dominate headlines worldwide. Another major reason fans rallied behind Anika Nilles was her incredible musical intelligence. Professional drummers online began breaking down her performances in detail, pointing out her advanced limb coordination, unusual rhythmic phrasing, and ability to make highly technical drumming sound effortless. For Rush fans, that matters enormously. Neil Peart wasn't admired only because he played fast. He was respected because every drum part felt carefully composed, almost like storytelling through rhythm. Many musicians believe Anika shares that same mindset. She focuses on feel, structure, and musicality instead of simply showing off speed. Some drummers even argued that her jazz and fusion background could bring a fresh dimension to classic Rush songs. Others said her ability to improvise smoothly may help the live performances feel exciting rather than overly rehearsed. Still, critics continued voicing concerns. A portion of the fan base questioned whether Rush should even use the Rush name without Neil Peart physically present. Discussions became heated online, especially in Facebook groups dedicated to classic rock history. But despite the arguments, one pattern kept appearing repeatedly. People respected Anika's talent even if they disagreed with the reunion itself. That distinction became important because it showed the backlash wasn't truly aimed at her personally. In fact, many fans defended her fiercely against negative comments, reminding others that she never forced herself into the position. As media coverage intensified, older interviews from both Rush members and Anika Nilles suddenly resurfaced online. Fans started connecting old comments about musical chemistry, legacy, and artistic growth, almost treating the announcement like destiny unfolding in real time. One quote from Geddy Lee especially caught attention when he previously mentioned that Rush always valued musicians who brought individuality instead of imitation. Many fans now believe that philosophy explains exactly why Anika was chosen. Meanwhile, reaction channels across YouTube began posting side-by-side comparisons of Neil Peart performances and Anika's drumming style. Surprisingly, many viewers appreciated the differences instead of criticizing them. Some comments described her playing as more fluid, while others praised the emotional touch she adds to complex arrangements. The excitement also reignited conversations about women in rock and progressive music. Fans pointed out that having Anika front and center in one of rock's most respected bands could inspire a whole new generation of female drummers worldwide. Several musicians publicly congratulated her as well, describing the opportunity as both an honor and one of the hardest jobs in music history. Because honestly, following Neil Peart may be one of the most intimidating tasks any drummer could face. But according to many fans, Anika's calm confidence is exactly what makes her capable of handling the pressure. As rehearsals reportedly moved forward behind closed doors, speculation about the upcoming set list became intense. Fans debated whether Rush would focus mainly on classic hits or surprise audiences with deeper cuts that hardcore listeners have waited years to hear live again. Many people also wondered how emotional the first concert would become. Some fans predicted standing ovations before the band even plays a single note. Others believed tributes to Neil Peart would become one of the most powerful moments of the entire tour. Across social media, people shared stories about how Rush music helped them through depression, loneliness, grief, and difficult periods in life. That emotional connection explains why reactions to Anika Nilles became so passionate in the first place. This isn't just about technical drumming ability. It's about protecting memories attached to one of the most beloved bands in rock history. Interestingly, even skeptical fans slowly appeared to soften over time. After hearing more discussions about Anika's dedication and musicianship, some critics admitted they were willing to give the new lineup a chance before making final judgments. Others remained firmly opposed, insisting Rush ended with Neil Peart and should stay that way forever. But regardless of where fans stand, one truth became impossible to deny. The announcement successfully reunited the global Rush community in conversation again for the first time in years. In the end, the reaction to Anika Nilles joining Rush revealed something much deeper than a simple lineup change. It exposed just how emotional, protective, and passionate Rush fans still are after all these years. For some people, the idea of Rush continuing without Neil Peart feels heartbreaking. For others, hearing those songs performed live again feels like reconnecting with a missing piece of their lives. And standing right in the center of that emotional storm is Anika Nilles, a drummer now carrying one of the heaviest legacies in rock history. Yet despite the controversy, excitement continues growing every single day. More fans are discovering her work, more musicians are praising her abilities, and more longtime listeners are becoming curious about what this new chapter could actually sound like on stage. The biggest surprise may be that Anika never tried to replace Neil at all. Instead, she appears focused on honoring the spirit of Rush while bringing her own musical identity into the experience. And according to many fans online, that may be the only reason this reunion has a chance to succeed. Whether people love the decision or hate it, the conversation has already proven one thing: Rush still matters deeply to millions around the world. Now fans everywhere are waiting for the moment the lights finally go down, the crowd erupts, and Anika Nilles hits that very first note behind the legendary Rush drum kit. And when that moment comes, rock history may change once again.